Hey, Brigham with Drift here. Welcome back to my garage. In this video, 5 things I think you should know about the Bataleon Disaster. And I say that because there's 3 R's on here at the end of Disaster, and I just noticed that for the first time. I've wanted to get on this for a long time. You know I'm not a big park guy, but I do love having a twin for messing around when I'm up with the family or when it hasn't snowed for a while and the park is the funnest place to be. And this is a gem in that category. Before I get into it, you can check out my specs and my biases below. Although, as I just mentioned, the way that I describe how I typically ride, that's not how I'm going to talk about this board. All right, here we go. Number 1. When it comes to a board for messing around, this is as good as it gets. The 3BT for practicing riding and landing switch, throwing spins, hitting side hits, 180s, whatever. It's just as good as it gets as far as making those things easy and forgiving. Now, there is a part of me that thinks like, okay, all of those things are easy with 3BT, but at some point you have to learn how to do it for real on a real board. But there's another part of me that's like, who cares? Especially when you get my age and you've got like nagging injuries and things that have issues where you know if you fall on them, they're going to take you off the board for a couple of weeks or whatever, like my shoulder that comes out of socket when I look at it wrong. I love it. I love that forgiveness and that ease. And, you get it with all the battalions, but this one in particular is just so soft and playful. So that's number 2. The flex. This is a soft, mellow park flex. So this would be for smaller features, slower speed moves. If you want to go bigger and harder, look to the Disaster Plus or the Evil Twin or even the Goliath. And even the Goliath, compared to a lot of other more aggressive freestyle boards, is still very forgiving because of that 3BT. But this just has that really nice, playful, soft, fun flex. The third thing, and this is kind of a negative for me, is one of my favorite things is popping off of the tip and tail, doing ground tricks and even, butter tricks off of jumps and stuff where you press into the tip and tail and you engage them and pop off of them to spin. And the one thing I've noticed compared to traditionally shaped twins, even some of them that are rocker dominant or flat as compared to full camber, because of these lifted contact points, and you know about them, but when you engage that tail and then you angle and press to pop off of it, it lacks pop because of those lifted contact points, because there isn't as strong of an edge to dig in and snap off of. So my comparison would be my personal favorite twin so far. I haven't ridden all of them by any means, but for this kind of stuff I'm describing, I haven't found a board that I like better than the Never Summer Proto Slinger. And I'm not even a big Never Summer guy, but I just loved the way that thing popped off the tip and tail. I sold one that I had that was a little bit older, and I've regretted it ever since because this year they stopped making the 160 wide, and that's my size. So I'm a little bummed about that. If anyone knows about a 160X that's out there, let me know. But anyway, lacks a little bit of pop coming off of those edges on the butter tricks and stuff like that, which is a kind of a downside for me. And then the fourth thing that I would mention about this is that if you push it hard, it will get overwhelmed. So I'm talking like you get done playing in the park and you have to bomb down that groomer because it's flat for a quarter of a mile back to the lift. Like, it's gonna feel wild. And who cares, because that's not what this board is for, and that's fun too in its own way. But yeah, when you get this thing up to speed, it's as loose as a goose. All right, and the fifth thing that I would mention about this board, kind of a comparison to some of the other Battalion boards, I've really enjoyed a lot of Battalion's higher end, stiffer boards in the right conditions. And this is, I'd say like the lowest end of their boards that I've tried. And I really like this. I like this better than the whatever, I think. The whatever, it's almost like it's a little too stiff. And not playful enough. Like it kind of, the shape feels like it should be kind of like this, but it's really not. I guess it's just a little more generic, but it makes it less fun to play around on, I think. And I also like this better than the Fun Kink. I think the Fun Kink's probably a killer, first board or intermediate board for a lot of people. But for me, it just didn't feel very lively and exciting either. And I got both of those kind of for that like twin play around feel. But this one probably provides it the best. I would be curious to try the Disaster Plus and see if I would like just a little more power and snap out of this shape. We'll have to see. But that is the Bataleon Disaster. It's a fun board. Let me know what you think. Love to get your comments, your questions. Hit me up in the comments. Thanks for watching.